So I just got to the school, getting a bit nervous, you know, I'm giving a speech to about 1,000 people, so be something. Wish me luck.
Mr. John Fordrin, one of our outstanding technological education teachers, to introduce James Robson. Mr. Fordrin is our staff advisor for our robotics club and also our electric car club. Mr. Fordrin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Mr. Masters, for mentioning me. I am, as Mr. Masters mentioned, a technology teacher here at Resurrection, and I have been asked to do a short introduction on tonight's guest speaker. The man I am talking of is James Hobson. He was very dedicated and studious student while he was here, making the honor roll every year at Resurrection. Also, while at Resurrection, James was on the DECA team each year and competed in the Principles of Business Management and Administration competitions. In 2008, he won a gold medal at the regional competition, and the same year finished in the top 10 at the provincial competition, both of which are outstanding accomplishments on their own. With his keen interest in business, he liked money. Right? In grade 9, James found out about a government program to sponsor students with entrepreneurial ambitions. I believe James started a company that made jewelry, which he would sell to any prospective buyer. Some of you in attendance tonight might even own some of this jewelry. Right? Does anybody have any? Because I want to see it. Right? His interest in business and technology has sparked his YouTube channel, which he calls, write this down please, the Hacksmith, to reach over 200,000 views every month and has over 40,000 subscribers eagerly awaiting new videos every week. And parents, you would be surprised how lucrative that is. I was, right? He has an incorporated and profitable business on YouTube in which he invents things for fun. Wow, does it get any better than that? And to the delight of his internet audience, while, of course, maintaining a full-time career as a mechanical engineer. While at Resurrection, James met another student, Ian Hillier. Right? Singularly, both of these students were very intelligent, but together they were unstoppable. And this friendship is one that I believe will stand forever. They both had a keen interest in technology and decided to join robotics team. This was 2007, and they were the catalyst of the team that day. Right? They quickly realized, with their desire to take their team to the top of that they needed to put in lots of extra time. It was at this time that I got introduced to James. My memories of those days are of a couple of incredibly passionate students who had fallen in love with robotics and just wanted to learn so that they could use their new knowledge to stomp the competition. And they did it. Right? In 2007, not only did they win the regional and provincial Skills Canada robotics competitions, but they also traveled to Calgary and won the National Skills Canada robotics competition. Yes, bringing home the gold. Which, by the way, was a first for Resurrection and also a first for the Waterloo Catholic District School Board. These accomplishments would foreshadow their achievements to come, while they both embarked on a degree in engineering at Conestoga College. But to hear those amazing stories, you're going to have to wait and stay around and listen to James, right? But before I let you talk to James, or hear James, right, I have a favorite moment that I'd like to share with you. I was just coming back into my classroom after being down at the photocopier to find a student in the room. Well, that's not a big deal, really, right? Except this student was about 5 feet in the air and duct taped to the wall. He immediately said to me, "That's okay. They did it to me willingly," right? Well, then when I asked James why was his friend duct taped to the wall, he just looked at me, and matter-of-factly he said, "We were curious whether it would work or not." It did, right? And it was at that time I thought, a beautiful mind begins. I introduce you to James Hobson.
Sorry, Mr. F stole my notes. Thank you for the kind introduction, Mr. F. I'm so excited to be here, and it was a huge honor to be invited here to speak to you on this awards night. So much so that I actually wrote out some notes. But you know what? I'm feeling pretty good, so I don't think I really need these. Just kidding. Anyway, 6 years ago, I was sitting in the exact same seats as you. And what I didn't realize then was those were some of the most important years of my life so far. But to be honest, I don't even remember the awards night. My parents do, but I don't. It's my hope that maybe, just maybe, I can make this speech memorable enough that you guys might actually remember it down the road. As you might have gathered from Forndren's rather flattering introduction of me, I've done quite a bit with my life, both with my time here at Res and the exciting stuff I haven't told you about yet. I wouldn't necessarily call myself successful, but I'd say I'm doing all right. And tonight, I'd like to share some secrets with you on how to do all right. You're probably going to roll your eyes at this one, but the main theme here tonight is how to step outside your comfort zone. As Mr. F mentioned, I was homeschooled before coming to Res, so my journey outside my comfort zone actually began when I decided to come here, to actually go to high school. It was the first time I left my house in 7 years. Just kidding. I must have left at least 2 or 3 times. I joke. But that's a kind of odd situation, don't you think? Imagine having the choice. I did. But I chose Res because I knew it would give me new opportunities and new challenges to overcome. And boy, am I glad I did. I'll admit, it was a bit tricky adjusting at first, going from seeing a few people to attending a school of hundreds, and now talking to a crowd of almost 1,000 people. But I persevered. I learned as much as I could when I came here. I joined many extracurriculars, I made friends, and most importantly, I discovered my passion in life through integrated tech class, and that passion was engineering. My good friend Ian and I took over the robotics club in grade 11 and started learning some serious engineering skills. No more popsicle sticks and hot glue. We learned how to design mechanical systems out of steel and aluminum, how to draft in CAD, and really, how to think outside the box. We had no preconceptions of how a robot should work, so we let our creativity out and built this 150-pound soccer ball shooting monstrosity. The challenge was simple. Build a robot to score soccer balls into an arcade game-style ramp while heading off against 2 other bots. Long story short, the robot kicked ass, and we blasted through the regional skills competition, the provincial competition, and we actually wiped the floor at nationals. Our robot scored more points than pretty much all of the other robots in attendance. It was the first time a school from the Waterloo Catholic District School Board had won nationals in the robotics competition. When we got back, we were excited to play with our newfound ability to make things. I brought my old kick scooter to school one day, and we strapped one of the robot's motors to it and a few batteries. We got that sucker going a good 40 kilometers an hour. And you see, the beauty with a little scooter that can go 40 kilometers an hour is when you're blasting through the school hallways, the teachers will hear you. But by the time they get to their classroom door and look out into the hallway, you're already flying down the next corridor. The genie was out of the bottle. We could make things. We could make really cool things. Suddenly I started to see everything as a building block, just dying to be combined with something else. So when the time came to choose a post-secondary education, I had another big decision to make. College or university. Play it safe and go to university for engineering like everyone was telling me to, or risk a brand new degree program at Conestoga College, which promised more hands-on applied learning. I chose Conestoga, and I couldn't have made a better choice. The applied project-based learning allowed me to learn how to design and build really cool stuff, along with all the theoretical knowledge you'd expect from a degree program. But you know what? I probably have done all right at U of W too. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the program. You'll be spending years doing it, and you'll either end up with a pretty piece of paper on the wall or a solid career. Well, and that pretty piece of paper. Before making any decisions based on what other people might have to say, research the programs you're interested in yourself. The first question you should be asking yourself is, are there any jobs available after you're done? If there are, that's great. Did you know programs will actually list their graduate employment rate? You should probably check it out. If there aren't jobs, are there other career options if you take this program? Will there be more schooling afterwards that will help you get into a career? Teachers college or medical school, to name a few? Is there a co-op version of the program that would allow you to dip your feet in and try a few different jobs during your education? I can't stress how important co-op is. Not to mention, it practically guarantees employment at the end of your program. Some other things to consider include touring the program, meeting with students, or even the professors. The point is, research the program. Forget what university or college you're at. It doesn't matter. Down the road, when you're in your career, no one's going to care where you went to school. What matters is what you know and how you do your job. Now, where was I? Something about going the extra mile? First year college, Ian and I decided to tackle our biggest engineering project yet. We converted a car to electric, for fun. Sounds complex, doesn't it? Not really if you break it down to a few steps. You're going to need a car, take the engine out, get a forklift company to donate an electric forklift to you, take the electric motor out, make an adapter plate, mount the motor, throw some batteries in the trunk, you're done. Now, simple, right? Now, how did we know how to do that? Well, the truth is, we didn't. We learned everything we needed to know along the way. And that's another lesson for you. No matter how big your dreams are, or your problems, or whatever challenge you're facing, it doesn't matter, even if it seems insurmountable. Just break it down into smaller steps and chip away at it until you're successful. It really is that simple. After the car, I continued to take on new challenges, getting farther and farther out of my comfort zone. You might even say, I don't have a comfort zone anymore. I went to Germany on an exchange trip without even knowing how to speak the language, and I ended up seeing almost all of Western Europe. I got back home to Conestoga just in time to help form the Conestoga Engineering Society, where I became the president of the society. While I was away, the school was accredited as an engineering program, which meant we are now allowed to compete in the Ontario Engineering Competition, which historically has never had a college compete in until now. Our third and fourth year classes drew straws, and I was one of the lucky 4 chosen to go to the competition to compete in the senior design category. We won, to the surprise of all the universities. We then went on to the national engineering competition held in Montreal.
We only placed second this time, but also took home an innovation award. And
The team that beat us was another project-based engineering program in Quebec. And funny enough, it was the one our program was based off of. After that, I finished up my program and graduated. I had already secured a job and started working after my last exam. I was working for a pretty cool company called Athena Automation. We designed and built injection molding machines for the plastics industry. The neat thing was, the owner was a billionaire, and he was absolutely passionate about his work. I mean, he had to be. He's 87 years old, and still goes to work every day. His name is Robert Shad. Anyway, on my third day of work, I was told to bring my passport in. As it turned out, we were taking the private jet down to Cincinnati to meet with a supplier. See, the funny thing with Robert is, he's a bit old school, as you can imagine, and he doesn't really believe in telecommunications or Skype or stuff like that. So he'd rather spend thousands of dollars sending us down to meet face to face with our supplier. It was a very exciting job, but within a year, I felt that I had learned everything I could about the industry, and I started to get bored. I took on another job as a technical writer for a website called Hackaday. I started making YouTube videos. I went back to Europe for a few weeks to travel some more, and I formed my own company called Hacksmith Industries for my inventions and gadgets. My business model is simple. Sometimes I do things for shits and giggles. Who would have thought that could be profitable? But I was still bored at work. I decided to quit, and I wanted to try getting into a company right here in Kitchener, Christie Digital Systems. They're one of the world leaders in digital projection technology. I had a few co-op terms with them during my degree, and that's when I discovered that I'd love to work for that company. The problem is, all their entry-level positions required 5 years industry experience. It's not very entry-level. I had just over 1 year of experience in a completely different industry. Luckily, they still gave me a chance, and I got an interview, and I was able to wow them with my personal projects outside of work. I've been there happily for the past 8 months, and I'm the lead mechanical developer on a new projector, which will be one of the brightest xenon lamp-based projectors on the market. That's a Christie projector right there, actually. But my true passion still lies outside work, with my own projects. The takeaway here is that you should never settle for a job or stay in one for too long. If the work gets stagnant, look somewhere else, take on new challenges. Don't just sit there. That finally brings me to the reason Reza asked me to speak tonight. You see, one of my little pet projects is kind of cool. In fact, I was in the newspaper just a few weeks ago. You see, I'm currently working on building You see, I'm currently working on building a pneumatic exoskeleton capable of lifting well over double a normal human strength. My prototype test video kind of caught the internet by surprise, and within a week, it netted over 1 million views. Here's a short clip from it. 170 pounds. Like nothing. Legs feel it though. So I began redesigning the entire thing now that I have a real budget for it. In addition, I've even been approached by several individuals and other companies interested in forming a business venture with me in the exciting field of human augmentation for medical use, which I might just do. But enough about me. Tonight is about you, and your exciting futures ahead. Your education here at Res is not about learning things like facts or dates or how to long divide. I still don't know how to long divide. Anyway, it's about learning how to learn things. The human brain is an incredible piece of biological hardware, and it's an amazing gift and blessing, but it's not that good at remembering things. Or maybe we just don't know how to access those things properly. But what it is good at, no, great at, is making connections. 86 billion neurons worth of connections. It's not like a computer. We can't just look up data based on a location it's stored in the brain. It just doesn't work that way. And besides, everyone has a smartphone these days. We can look up anything in the history of everything in just a few seconds. Education is kind of like learning how to ride a bike. It's an information overload, and you really can't be expected to remember even half, or even just a quarter of what you've learned. But you know what? That's okay. First of all, you'll probably never even need half of what you've learned. And that other half? Well, what you might not realize is once you've learned something once, even if you forget it, which you probably will, you can learn it again in the fraction of the time it took you the first time around. Except for long division. Or maybe that's just me. So wait, what are we learning things for that we'll either never need in our lives, or we'll forget promptly after our final exams? Or can look up on our phones in a matter of seconds? Well, your time here at Res is about learning the process of learning. Learning how to problem solve. Learning how to develop good habits. Learning how and where to look up things that you don't understand. Learning how to interact with other people. And learning how to be a good person. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah, getting good grades is important, and receiving awards and accolades make us feel all warm and tingly inside. But we're not walking resumes, we're human beings. We aren't defined solely by what we've done or achieved, but by who we are, and that's what makes us unique. Being a grade A student or receiving every award available does not guarantee success. No one gets into a career based on grades and awards alone. I'm not trying to single out any of the people in the front row, is it? Yeah. Because believe me, you most likely will be successful, but not because of your grades or your awards, but because of you. Your habits, your determination, your motivation for success, and all the really important things that you've been learning here at Res. Similarly, not getting good grades or awards doesn't mean you won't be successful either. We're not good at everything we do, plain and simple, but the current education system expects us to be. You don't have to be good at math, or English, or French, or history, or computer programming, or any other subject you just don't like. We all know that some of the famous billionaires out there dropped out. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Michael Dell. In fact, 1 in 5 of America's millionaires never even attended post-secondary. Am I saying you should all go drop out now because school's obviously useless? No, of course not. What I'm trying to do is give you a new perspective on why you're here. You're here to develop as a person, not as some alien in disguise trying to absorb all information the school has to give. And if you are an alien in disguise, then I sincerely apologize, since I basically told you learning everything there is to know doesn't guarantee success. Or in your case, infiltration into the highest levels of society for world domination. But I digress. Be proud of your grades, your awards, and your accomplishments here at Res. While they may not guarantee you a successful future alone, they stand as excellent indicators of the qualities you possess that will guarantee each and every one of you success in your lives. I'd like to leave you with a quote by T.E. Lawrence, which I believe very strongly in. All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dreams with open eyes to make them possible. Don't be afraid to dream big. Relish in your daydreams and fantasies of the future. If you truly believe in the dream and yourself, you might just find that the universe will bend to your will and make it happen. Thank you.
I'd like to call on Sammy Yosef now to extend appreciation to James for that outstanding address.
On behalf of the Resurrection community, we'd like to thank you for taking time to come and share your past experiences with us. We will never forget the valuable experiences you've taught us today, and we wish you the best in your future endeavors. Always know you will be in our hearts, and we cannot wait to see what great things you have in store for us in the future. Thank you, and God bless.
Well, I'd say that went quite well. They even gave me a shirt. Awesome.